Look at you, Goo. You get it's almost like a day off on a day on. Look at you. In here, not having to deal with Steiny poking and prodding and putting you in a corner and all those damn things that JD.
The street says Steiny may have little Klay flu.
Oh, really?
Klay was on one. He been on one.
Maybe he had karma flu. I don't know.
I hit Steiny last night. I said, Klay back? Question mark. And all of a sudden, I got a text from Nahegan. Can you come in tomorrow?
Man, we're playing Steiny. We know you're listening.
And yes, Klay is back, by the way.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, you had the numbers, JD, I think back-to-back best months of his NBA career in terms of efficiency and points. And JD, you know you're on a heater when you're able to bank a shot in.
That's amazing.
From the corner, for God's sakes.
Man,
that you needed.
Right. You needed. I don't even know if we're allowed to use the word bank for that. That was like a glance. That was a glancing blow off the backboard.
A rub.
Exactly.
It was a rub.
But it's got it. Like, I know that we're more focused on the importance that it offers the Warriors season, but the story of Klay the last 3 years, how good must this feel when we know the mental anguish that this person went through and I think all of us assumed that even back, quote unquote, back, wouldn't look like this. We didn't
and
think.
He shared it with us with the Barkley thing. And if this were a beverage, I mean, this is a 24-pack, guys, of just – and I know he's trying to –
Num juice?
Yeah, that was – but, I mean, this has to feel like ecstasy for him. And I know he's trying to get his team in the offs, but Jay Dibs, you got to give him some love for what he's doing. He's locked in.
You do, and I think the biggest part of it is the fact that, he got asked again the other night about being back, and he said, you know what, I'm trying not to focus on that. I think part of his ability to get back to this level, and whether he's truly back or not, I think is kind of irrelevant at this point. He's playing at a level high enough to really help this team save them the last 2 games and potentially go on a run if they can get everybody else back.
No Curry, no Wiggins, no Draymond. Jordan Poole goes 5 for 20.
And he fills right in
and
to
you win.
Take the game over, refuse to lose kind of mode. But I think his willingness to stop worrying about whether he's back or not, going back to maybe around Thanksgiving when they had that team meeting and supposedly Draymond said, hey, man, like,
stop shooting,
stop being selfish, and just play some team ball. You're going to get plenty of shots. That, to me, is when it started to change, even though the numbers didn't really come until January and February, which had been fantastic. And I think Steve Kerr kind of addressed that. Get out of your own head a little bit. Quit worrying about 2018, 2019. Be the best version you can be in 23. And that, as we're seeing, is pretty special still.
Yeah. It's amazing, man, because I small sample, but you look at NBA players who can score, and I think we think about them through the prism of, like, can you actually be a 1? Like, it's one thing to put up points, but can you be a 1? And it's actually a question that I feel like we're all sitting here waiting to start dealing with in terms of Jordan Poole. And actually the answers we're getting so far are not very good. But Klay, yes, small sample, it's like he hadn't been asked to do this very often in his career.
No Wiggins, no Curry.
And he is doing it.
And what about the play he made for DiVincenzo? I know you're going to be like, well, he made a play.
He looked like a 1.
Drove it. Klay Maker.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the Odyssey app. Yeah, what's on your minds? What's going on?
I told JD, you guys tell me if I'm being overzealous. I feel like this is not how they drew it up, the Warriors. And Draymond, there's an MRI, okay? So I got my Bible open. The silence around Wiggins, and we're praying that everything is cool, but this is not ideal at all, and yet here they are. And I told JD, they're a game and a half out of 4th.
Right.
So I feel like the playoffs have started already.
In essence, yes, but, I was telling Mark, there's urgency, but it's a lowercase u in urgency because you lose to Portland, and who cares? And then, you win the next one. Oh, they're back. And then you lose, and then you win. Ultimately, 41-41. If you take that record right now, you're probably the 8 seed. You might be the 6. You might be the 10. But if you can just be a 500 club in the West, you've got a puncher's chance. And that, if I look, and JD, I was looking earlier at the standings and played a little game of buy or sell. in terms of the top 14, and I look at Minnesota, beat it.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
a fraud.
New
Orleans, I'm not buying you.
Yeah.
Portland, Dame Lillard shot half of their shots last night, and they needed every bit of his 71 to get a W. I'm out on Portland. I'm out on Utah. So as you start to do process of elimination, even if the Warriors go 41 and 41, they might be the 7th seed. They might be the 8th seed. So I don't feel the same level of urgency around these Warriors. You won last night without Draymond, Steph, and Wiggins. You probably won't have Wiggins for Lord knows how long.
Man.
Draymond with the knee issue, and Steph has got at least another week, but it doesn't seem to matter because the teams you're playing aren't very good.
I keep waiting. This is the thing I've been thinking about for over a month already. And it's like everybody wants to go on the emotional roller coaster of they're done and this is it, or, oh my gosh, they're going to make a run. For me, there's only one thing I'm focused on, and until I know that this can't happen, then I'm open to all things are possible, which is, could the same thing that happened last year happen this year, which is magically you wake up on April 1st and you're full strength.
Right.
And like that feels crazy right now because there are questions around Steph and Dre's got an MRI and we don't know a damn thing about Andrew Wiggins. But could you wake up on April 1st and everybody just shows up at the arena and they're like, we're ready.
Didn't we watch that movie last year?
Yeah.
In the parade?
Yeah,
with a much better team.
Much better team.
At
In a much
end.
weaker West.
In a much better situation.
True.
And the West
Seeding
was much weaker.
Right. Like my question now is not just can that happen on April 1st, but where are you when you get to April 1st? Are you even in this thing? I don't think it's possible to win a championship out of the 9 or the 10 seed. I don't think that's possible.
And
I don't even know if it's possible out of the 7 or the 8.
And to your point, Dibs, I think it's a yes and no to a much weaker West. Like I think you could make the case in at the top it was a weaker West last year. I think in the middle and toward the bottom, if the Warriors have to come out of a lower slot, it's a much weaker West this year. Like if you wind up being a 6 seed and play Sacramento per se,
okay,
like
I'll buy that.
That's a weaker West.
Give that to us.
But I look at the other teams in that mid pack, and Sacramento's a bit of an anomaly because they have no experience and they don't really play defense.
175.
Like you beat Denver last year, and Denver this year is way better than they were. You beat Memphis last year, and you had to survive them, and their best player, John Morant, got knocked out.
Those are facts.
And I don't buy
They're not
that,
better, though.
I don't buy that they were better once Ja went out, but you barely survived Memphis without John Morant. The Clippers this year are better than they were. Dallas, I mean, pending them figuring it out together.
They're not good.
Yeah,
enough.
They should be
me.
better,
Yeah.
but the more that they play together, the less they scare me, JD. I'm with you on that. Phoenix last year, I think, was better than the Warriors, but they got taken out. You got a lot of breaks last year along the way.
No doubt.
It's about Denver, Phoenix, and the Clippers to me. And the Clippers are showing in their new iteration.
No
in a
Lakers
couple of
for
games.
you, huh? You ain't
They're a
throwing the
little
Lakers
bit,
in there, huh?
As far as winning a title or making a big run.
Like
no,
I got them right where the Clippers are.
Yeah, I wouldn't. At this point, I need to see more, but I think they're significantly better than they were
A month ago, true.
Yeah.
When the hell is
True.
the NBA going to realize that if Russell Westbrook's on your roster, you can't win?
Well, they didn't play him OT last night.
Paul
They
George
lost.
wanted
and
him.
he had a pretty good game.
Honestly, this is one of the craziest things. I cannot figure out why NBA GMs can't figure this out.
And they were close.
Well, they didn't want him. Paul George went to bat
This
and
is
said, we
JD's
want
theory.
him. We want him. And I think it's aligned with the Kevin Durant, star players often make terrible GMs and don't understand. They think in terms of talent. They think in terms of guys that they went up against at a high level over the years, and they don't realize, like Paul George legitimately just doesn't realize that Russell Westbrook actually hurts their chances. And so he goes to bat for him when the team, the organization doesn't have the guts to look Paul George in the eye and say, Paul, we're not doing it.
Right.
It's not the right move. Trust us.
I mean, Durant was the first one to actually have his eyes open about this when he left Russ in the first
doubt.
place.
After what, 8 or
that
9
was-
years?
he wanted to go with Kyrie and thought it would work great.
Man.
And
So
that's-
he wasn't
Got
right about
judgment
that.
issues.
Yeah.
You know who I am.
We'll see about Devin Booker and Chris Paul and how that mix works, but it is the wildest thing to me. Like the other team in your building
So he didn't even have to write.
Just went through 2 years of going, my gosh, like, we can't do anything with this guy because, he's talented. He's a former MVP.
He's the fourth quarter in turnovers.
But he just does not play winning basketball.
Right.
And the Wizards know that.
Oh, but
and
the highlights.
And the Rockets know that. And now the Lakers know that.
Like the guy.
And the Clippers are finally healthy, and they finally got this core they've been waiting for to have together for 2 years.
They made a bunch of great moves.
All these guys, and they're like ready to make a run. And
Who's
they're
that
like,
on?
okay, not only did they sign the guy, they started him the night after they
He
brought
didn't play last night in OT. Gordon played over him, had 0 points, and I was debating with JD. He was having a good game, so you can make the argument, and Clipper fans were saying it on Twitter, he should have played, but he got no mas in overtime in the fourth quarter.
He had a good game on Friday night, too, and they gave up 176.
That's not all him, though.
176? Is that accurate?
You didn't see that game?
176,
176 to 175.
The Kings in the Clippers.
All-Star game?
Double overtime.
153 apiece going to OT.
So
God,
wild.
dude.
I don't want to watch that,
No,
Willard.
I couldn't believe it because I bet the under 349 and a half. I bet the under 349 and I
that was a
lost.
mistake.
I couldn't
So
believe it. It was so close till the end.
I
But
can't
anyway.
believe I missed that.
That was a turnoff. I said, JD, if you were in basketball paradise and they came to you and said, you want to watch this 176 one, I would have been like, hell no, that ain't who I am.
No.
Forget those highlights.
That's second highest scoring game ever.
Yes.
As upon my further Googling.
That's too much.
351.
It's almost 200.
Only one NBA team's ever won the championship outside of a top 3 seed, and as we know, it's the Houston Rockets. They were the 6th seed.
95.
Does it change this year, JD? Does one of these Western Conference teams outside of top 3, or even in the East? It feels like the East top 3. One of those 3 is going to represent the East: Milwaukee, Boston, or Philly. But do we see somebody outside the top 3 seed line win the chip this year?
I doubt it, and I think the only team that could do it would be the Warriors. But to me, I think Phoenix is going to be. It's Phoenix or Denver most likely coming out of the West. The Clippers. I think we just kind of hit on why they probably don't have enough to do it now with Westbrook in the mix, and I think the Suns are going to end up in the top 3 or 4.
You're like Don King in regard to our bet. My bet with Steiny. Some Twitter handle, they'll win.
The Suns by the way,
track all
I get the
these.
little mad, Willard. Yeah, but listen, that one's only $20. But the one with the Warriors will win it, or I owe them dinner.
Yeah.
And you just come in out of nowhere like Don King. Listen.
Well, I wanted a piece of that wager, but my own partner talk blocked me when I thought I had.
But
you
I'm gonna say this to
What'd I
that,
do?
Willard. What you
know.
just explained, April 1. It's out there. I know it's highly unlikely now, but until we actually see it, but the fact that this team without the big 3, or I keep telling you, a game and a half out of 4th.
Right.
I mean, I get it, the West, and that's a byproduct of bad teams. But when do you expect we get info on Wiggins? And I'm not being nosy. I'm respecting the process. But Willard, JD, and Dibs, it's incredible now that you added Dre to
the
this
answer
list.
is never. I think on Wiggins.
Yeah,
I think we're
the
going to
answer
get.
is he comes back. Hey, he's coming back tonight.
Like
that night.
Oh,
Whenever that night is.
I'm totally with you, and it's going to be where you been, and it's going to be I'm going to keep
And
it
then
as
the
a personal
rust factor,
matter
because he just had
it.
a great game before, and I know family over everything.
I'm not worried about the rust factor for Wiggins because Andrew Wiggins is young and athletic, and sometimes he's not rusty, and he'll still hit you with a 3 for 11 and 8 points. It's like he's not rusty. He's either interested or he's not interested. That's the way he rolls.
Yeah, I did you hear Slater with us earlier today?
No, I missed it.
Yeah, I mean, when you listen to that, you sort of get the sense, what you guys are saying, not only are we never going to hear what this is about, and that's fine, but to expect this to maybe be over soon.
Wow. I didn't hear that part.
I mean, you can't. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe he's going to play tomorrow night.
Right.
But the point is that I just got the sense that what he said that stuck with me is that this is as private as he's ever heard the Warriors be about anything.
I respect that. Wow, man.
And so if that's the case,
It's serious.
We're talking about something serious.
Yeah, no doubt.
Talking about something serious.
No doubt.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's
you try to. I know where your mind goes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, gosh, if you're on the Golden State Warriors and it was a playoff push, what even would be a family situation
and
would keep you,
no doubt.
Well, reverse engineer it for our own lives.
Right.
Like, what would keep you from being able to show up to work for 2 or 3 weeks?
Family illness, like a death.
I mean, serious. And he's got young kids and the whole deal.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want to play the speculation game, but the more it goes on, the more you realize how serious it is.
And normally you do know. You hear a little tidbit about what the player or what they're dealing with.
Yeah, and I was saying this before, JD. I think that you could look at the way Andrew was playing even before he actually took his leave, and it seemed like he was playing in a distracted manner even before that.
So here's what Slater said earlier today with regard to the Wiggins situation, for those of you who missed it.
And as far as Wiggins, this is about as private as I've ever seen an organization like hold something that's going on with somebody's personal life, which is, very fair by them. It's all we've been told pretty much is that it's a family issue he's dealing with. And there are people within the organization, I'd say, that you guys might expect to know what's going on. Not even they do. I've had people come out to me and wondering if I know more than they do. And I don't, because it's just, it's just being held in a very tight circle and private. And it's something that, even as a journalist, it can be tough at times, but you kind of got to allow privacy when people really want it when it comes to a family issue.
Kudos to the Warriors.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody's challenging anything here.
I just want them back selfishly.
Sure. And then, whether it's that you're concerned for him or, we've said it so many times, and this was actually the start of our conversation with Anthony, which is that this Warriors season feels like one of those years that's just got, a truckload of stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. And by the way, Anthony answered that by going, yeah, but not terribly different from the way NBA seasons go.
Man,
these are dramatic locker rooms, situations, tight quarters with big stars and very few people.
And if anything, the Warriors have, because of their culture and the people that they've had in place in a number of different roles from the top on down, they've avoided it to the extent that other franchises have needed to deal with it.
And think about it in terms of just Wiggins himself. His career as a rookie, he played 82 games, then 81,
Go
82,
ahead, baby.
82.
Keep going.
I mean, this is a guy who
Iron Man.
He doesn't miss games on principle. Last year he played in 73, and he probably could have played in more, but he just doesn't miss games. So your thoughts go out to he and his family, no doubt.
Yep. We were sitting around, me and the lovely Christy were talking about this the other day.
Tell her hello.
Yeah, you'd say it right, and she's probably listening, so you could say it right now. But she started doing what we're doing. Where it's just like, gosh, she's a huge Wiggins fan, so she's like, part of it is just like, man, I wonder what they're going through, and so she started reading up stuff on Wiggins, and I guess once upon a time earlier in his career, he's got 2 kids, and there was a time when one of them was going to be born where they pushed the birth.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because he had a game.
No doubt.
So that's who this is. This is not
Goo-goo.
This is somebody.
Wow.
Right? This is somebody who does not take it lightly to miss games and to do it in March when there's a playoff push. So again, this is all to be said. We've probably overtalked this because it's not our business, but it feels like a really unfortunately big deal.
Let me lighten it with a quick question with JD. I got a bet with a listener. Either she brings me lumpia or I have to give her one of our T-shirts from 957thegameshop.com.
Okay.
Warriors a playoff team or a play-in team? Which side of that bet would you take right now, JD? Are they in the offs or are they in the ins?
I would take the ins right now.
My man.
Well,
I would take the
ins. But ins can become offs.
No.
And I think they're
saying end of regular season, right?
End of the regular season. If they're 7, 8, 9, or 10, I win the bet.
Yeah.
Well, but
are they top 6
but
or are they 7 through
8
10?
is a playoff team.
No, it's not. Because if you lose the 7-8 game and then you lose the game
you're
against the 9-10, you are no one, my dude.
However, but if you
only
win
8
one of
teams
those games, right? So if you win one of those games,
but the
you
bet
are.
is at the end of the 82. Are you in the offs or are you in the ins?
Are you
I think
avoiding
you've got
that do or
I think
die?
you've got
Do
a
you finish?
policy-written bet.
Do you finish?
I think you're trying to step outside your business. Mind your business.
Are there
here,
more
Mark.
than 6 playoff teams or not?
There are, at the end of the regular season, there are 6 playoff teams.
But 7 and 8 have to
4
battle for
TBD.
there, so
Right.
technically they're not in.
But
I
they
see what
exist. We just don't know who they are.
The rewrite would be: are
There
they going
are
to be
8
top
playoff
6
teams.
or
You-
7?
You're trying to corrupt something that's a lot
I like
simpler than
this
you
guy.
think right now.
It's not fun when someone semantics you into the corner, is it?
It's
I
not
do
fun
it
daily.
when you put your foot
Is it,
in my
Dibs?
business.
Is it, Dibs?
Mind your business.
Shout
Mark.
out, Steiny. That's what it sounds like
If
to
he's
listen
listening.
to Samantha. Anyway, go ahead.
No. Captain Semantics.
I got a
over here.
random no.
I appreciate you weighing in, JD.
I got a
The
random.
great Leanna Pons.
I got financial
Lumpia.
envy. Where do the Padres get their money?
Brother,
I'm just sitting at home, just at the
Okay.
bottom.
It's not like the Giants don't have the money.
Yeah,
they
the
do.
poor
They've
Giants.
got more. They've got
But
more.
they got somebody to dance with.
Right.
The Giants are broke, though, now that they slashed beer prices.
I'm true. Yes.
One
$9.
concession stand.
Yeah,
But Daddy said
but then-
domestic, right?
Are the
Bud
Giants
Light.
are the Giants good at this or what? They're like, we lowered beer prices. Everybody left out the next sentence, which was, and we're only slightly raising food prices.
Ah,
They're just offsetting it. They just moved a little bit.
And they lowered
Anyway.
beer
Look at-
prices at one particular concession stand on one particular beer.
Oh, is that true?
I believe so,
It's
yes.
only one stand?
Or maybe it's the multiple stands.
It's got to
that-
be more.
from 15
If
to $9
it's
if you're
The
domestic.
cheapest beer went
my
15 to
gosh.
9.
Yes,
You gotta
exactly.
switch it. But come on,
Listen,
I'm jealous.
This is
Envy, man.
and that's totally
Damn.
fair. I know what this sounds like because I'm over here being Captain Save a Giant. That's not what this
That's
is.
a 4.
No, I truly do have questions about
Where's
what the
it?
Padres are doing. Like, yes, this is so fun right now. Like
Right.
the Padres are on a bachelor party. You say yes to everything. Nobody on a bachelor party says, you want this shot? Well, no, we should probably get to bed early. No, it's just yes, yes,
More,
yes, yes, yes. You
That's
just,
a 3.
and then you wake up and barf. That's how this works.
Man.
You can't have 6 players with 9-figure
That's
salaries
ridiculous.
and try to figure out Juan Soto in a year and a half. When
Oh,
his
they
deal
got it.
comes-
They got it
You know,
covered,
yeah,
JD.
there's
It's
about
all
400
good.
million. Like, everybody is being signed for 14 years. You can't tell me like you're going to have a blast, but you can't tell me. And I know
boy.
fans go, "Who cares?" Well, I do. I care about my team every year. So you
What are they
cannot tell
doing?
in 2028. Call me and explain to me how this didn't blow up in your face.
Well, you win one World Series between now and
Exactly.
then,
Yeah.
would be my
Exactly.
answer. If you win a World Series
Okay,
between
but-
now and then, it's a win.
And for the Padre fan base, that's true. But I've long said I don't want one World Series if you're telling me that that means 10 years of crap.
Which we don't know
I don't-
it's going to be 10 years of crap, Mark.
Brother.
Well,
I
Giants
don't-
fans would say
That's
they've
out
had
of the haterade
7
bottle.
of 8
What if
years
it's
of
crap,
crap
though? Yeah.
already.
What if they get 4? What if they
they're
win
all
3?
going to be 38.
I guess
at
what
the
I'm saying,
exact
Mark,
same
is
time.
buckle up. If you're a Padre fan, it's going to be some fun.
No, but
Yeah.
brother,
That's
brother,
all. That's what it's going to be some
it's
fun.
not. It's not haterade because how on earth, when all of them are 38 years old at the same time, and they're all making $40 million a year?
But if Jay said,
And you're assuming you're
one
going to have all these guys when they're
It's
38.
worth
How
it.
you
What
gonna
if they
get rid
get
of 'em?
2?
You trade them.
Yeah, it's
Buy them out.
No, you're at. So in other words,
Who
they've
knows?
got.
Who knows?
Who
By that point,
knows?
maybe there'll be an amnesty.
Exactly.
So
You
you've
have
got
no idea.
you've got 8 pool holes, and it's going to be okay.
And he was in the
You're gonna
basketball
have-
celebrity game.
You're going to have money for someone else. If you, I mean, you guys act like that's recoverable. It's not.
Well, you don't
It's
know
not.
what's going to happen in 8 years, and all you know is right now you look at what
That's
they
what-
have,
yeah.
and you are
Mark,
excited.
that's all I'm
And
You
jealous
look at
right
the
now.
Giants
Here's
team,
my
and it's
point.
Mitch
Here's my
Haniger.
point.
Hopefully, he can hit 25.
Conforto, yeah.
Conforto, doubles
They're
machine.
going to hit homers
I'm
on the
with you.
Giants.
I'm with you. I guess my question would be, if you really wanted to be like a
I'm mad.
and that's fine. I get it. But if you're a Padre fan and you want to have an ounce of cynicism, Manny Machado said, "I'm opting out," and you freaked out and blinked. And did you just do that at the expense of Juan Soto? Because if you did, as a Padre fan, I think you're an idiot.
Okay. All right.
Like, that's an idiotic move
Right.
to be like, we want Machado till he's 40. We want his 30s rather than Soto's 20s.
Oh, no doubt. And
that's
yeah.
stupid. I don't know
somehow
if they
they're
did
making
that.
it
Soto
work,
didn't do
though,
much
Mark.
as a Padre
Yeah.
last year, so maybe they're
40
making
games.
a conscious choice
Soto's,
to
I
go
mean,
with what they know, the known
Mark,
commodity,
it's some fun
as
times
opposed to the
ahead.
unknown
Totally.
commodity. Yes,
And-
no
and
It's a
doubt.
fun time. Not what we got here.
Ain't no party like a Padre party. I
I
told you
wonder
that.
if
That's I'm giving
part
up
of it,
for.
and it hasn't been discussed, but I wonder if part of the reason the Padres made the decision they did is maybe they are comfortable moving off of Soto when his time comes up. But I also wonder if they look at the Giants as being so desperate to sign anybody that they think maybe the Giants would be the team that would cash out Manny Machado if he comes available next year, and they would rather, through their view on things, you know what? If you want to pay a bunch for Soto, we think Soto's going to be the guy that ages poorer than Machado or any of these other guys. So you know what? Go sign. You know what, Giants? Go sign Soto. Like maybe they're more comfortable with that. Then Machado.
I take Soto right now.
Great. You would.
I take Juan Soto right now for
Farhan
15
get into one
years.
of those nifty 3-year deals.
I'm shocked that JD said that.
You want to keep the guy. Like you, to me, you'd be more. You're all picking guys you'd rather keep.
Right.
And to me, they clearly are choosing to. They don't want Machado. Like to me, the Giants would be all over.
They're
Machado.
going the Rams
like
route,
that's a no-brainer.
But they got to win they got to win the World Series, right?
Be all over any of these guys.
If the Rams don't make the playoffs the next 2 years, what they did 2 years ago, going all in. Are you saying right? Because JD that works.
If they stink for 8 years, then I'm out. Right.
Yeah, it depends. There's that line where, and I think even 5 years, if in the next 5 years, it's 5 more years of losing records and relative irrelevance, then you can balance it out. Was the one Super Bowl worth it? If you're San Diego right now, one World Series is going to be worth 10 years of misery because you've never gotten one.
I mean, how many playoff series have the Padres won in their existence? Like 6?
Something like that.
No, I mean,
1984 against the Tigers, right?
It's still a huge if.
No doubt.
They've had all these players for a few years now, and they have not been able to break through. I have no idea what Tatis is going to be.
And if I'm correct, he's playing from jump, or he still has some games.
He's got about a month.
He's got a few.
About a month.
He's got a few.
The beauty of it is all those playoff games, they count. So he had to sit 50 games, and I didn't. I had to Google it. I think he comes back in the end of April.
That is whack.
You're
playoff
100%
games
right.
do not count.
Yeah, they do for that.
Postseason.
No, I'm with you.
No,
it's crazy.
What is that lineup though? What is that? Like
Machado hits 8.
Is Bogarts hitting 7th or something? I mean,
I forgot about Bogarts.
What? See?
Yeah.
He got $280 million also.
Man.
MatthewSteinmetz.com rubbing off on me. I'm doing this little thing on Twitter.
You don't have to do that. He's off
getting
today.
the letter grade of lineups. And yesterday I started with the Giants, gave him a C. But when I get to the Padres and Dodgers,
strong opinion.
Come on, man.
You can't give him a C, Goo. That's straight up Humpty.
No, I'm going to tell you why. The Giants are going to be able to hit a home run from 1 to 9. They got pop. Now, will they? But dudes that's how this game is played now. They got dudes that can hit it out the park.
Did you grade their defense? Because they made 6 errors on Saturday.
It wasn't the team. It was just the lineup.
I got them as an F on defense right now.
Yeah, it was all offense.
And it was an F last year on defense for the
pretty
moment,
much,
right?
yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That was
Gabe will get that fixed.
Yeah, exactly.
Get him, Gabe.
With the sniff.
Don't sniff at me.
That's so good.
Good Lord.
That's so great.
Do we want to try the Dennis Miller over? Because I kind of some people.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. You built it up.
Willard, you set the bar too high.
So he builds it up on and off air, and I finally ramp it up and I deliver. He ignored me. He didn't even pay attention to it.
Oh man.
Yeah,
come on, Goo.
I'm good, Goo. I'm good. I'm gonna take a pass on that. But looking forward to today's show. You guys have any special guests or anything coming on, or is it just Dub Nation, JD?
Sam Amico is going to join us.
Oh, I like Sam.
Yeah.
Sam's
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
And we'll talk a lot of Warriors and a little baseball as well. There was something that really got us both heated over the weekend.
That's a tease right
forgot
there.
it.
Pitch clock.
Or did we say we tucked it?
6-6 tie. 6-6 tie. Everybody go home.
Don't spoil the tease. Let him build it up.
Because we already
He
know.
was listening.
Tease blocker.
Yeah,
you
that's
tease
all right.
blocking this OB.
Exactly.
Looking
God.
forward to that.
Who does hit 5th? Is it Soto? Is it Tatis?
That's
Machado? Bogarts?
I thought you were talking about the Sable.
No.
I thought you were talking about the Giants.
No, he's hitting 3rd. He's hitting 3rd.
Can they
for the
start a
Giants.
complete all Rule 5 lineup, the Giants?
Oh, that would be so good.
It'd be so
wouldn't it?
far on.
It'd be so good. Might need to make their own Rule 6.
Not bad.
They shocked the world 2 years ago.
No Steiny
Didn't
today.
shock anybody.
So
107.
They didn't win a series.
But that season was magic.
They shocked nobody.
Yeah, they
Willard
lost to
did
106.
it.
Yeah. I'm going to go home now. All right, here comes Goo. He's going to be in a happy mood all day because he's with JD.
You play to win